If you can
And
just
good morning, everybody. It is September 1st, 2021. And as part of our ongoing series of Alma Interoperability, today we have with us, joining us all the way from our Jerusalem headquarters, Miri Botzer from the Library Mobile team from Campus M. Miri, you take it away and introduce yourself, and I'm here if any questions come in. Go ahead.
Perfect. So I'm Miri Botzer, and it's really nice having all of you here. And I'm the VP of Product and Marketing for Campus M. This session is going to be about Library Mobile. Whenever I'm saying Campus M, it's just because the Library Mobile is built on top of Campus M, so don't let me confuse you. Yeah, before I start, I can't click on the share button, so let's see if you can give me the right privileges. Oh, you're muted. Now I can. Perfect. I will try. Tell me when you can see it. Yay.
We see you, Miri.
Perfect. So what I'm going to talk to you about today is really the Library Mobile, the Ex Libris Library Mobile, which is a new offering by Ex Libris, which is focused on the patrons and is focused about making your life easier with serving them and actually exposing all the great services. So the first slide that I added here is actually about Alma. When we're talking about Alma, we know that we can, this is the place where we're doing all the management, manage catalogs and collection and electronics and prints and digital resources, as well as curation, acquisition. You're doing so many things on Alma side. We know it's huge, it's powerful, you're doing a lot of stuff, and everything is managed through your Alma. What we want to verify is that you have the right tool in order to expose everything to the patrons themselves. And I think all of us know where the patrons are, actually. And we know that it's not only the patron, it's all of us. We are today on the mobile devices. This is where we expect to see things. This is where we expect to perform actions. So today I'm going to share with you really the option for you to use the mobile device in order to have an easier experience for the user in order to access all those great materials that you are working so hard in order to verify that they have it. So as I mentioned, we know where everyone are, but it's not only the fact that they are there. When we are running a yearly survey with Altaline. When we ask them, 76% of the students says that they're unable to live without their smartphone, okay? It is more than just having them, which all of us having those mobile devices. They can't live with them. So
I'm actually surprised, excuse me, Miri, I'm surprised it's only 76%.
Actually, yeah, you are right, because I'll tell you the truth, it's a survey. This one is the Altaline that we ran 2 years ago. I promise you that every year the numbers are growing. Actually, we had a slide here, one before, I had a slide saying that 76% of people above age 35 will forget their wallets before they will forget their mobile devices. I'm sure that today we're talking about more like 90%. This is where all of us, I no longer take my wallet, luckily. So we want to verify that you have the way to do it. By the way, if you want to hear more or to read more about how students are actually using mobile devices, we have those surveys. You're more than welcome to go and read them. Really interesting. Thousands of students replying. Great material to understand the usage of the students. But some more things that we saw from those surveys is actually we try to understand what else they expect to do. Not only the fact that they expect when they are going to a place, they will see if they have an app, they will see if they can use it, but also what are the specific actions that they'll prefer to do on a mobile device versus using it on a desktop. So you can see this survey, it wasn't focused on the library services, it was really about the student life. But you can see that one of the top 10 is really seeing the library loans. When we're asking where would you like to access this information, they want to use their smartphone for it. It's not a long experience, it's not a long transaction, it's something short. They want to see the progress, they want to see the loads. This is where they expect to see things on the mobile devices. And also when we ask them, how would you like to be contacted whether from a telephone call, a face-to-face, a push notification. Also here you can see that when we are talking about seeing library loans, of course, checking class schedule, things like this is the top action that they are asking to see. They want to see, they prefer to use an app for those. Okay, so this is where we're coming. And this is where the library mobile comes. And when we're talking about actually the evolution, and I'm always saying I have some love-hate feeling with this slide, because I'll explain it in a second. So we were talking about really what happened in the last, I guess, 30 years.
Miri, let me just interrupt one more time, if I may. One of the reports that I like to make in data visualization when showing the data visualization is the Primo device usage, which shows, are they accessing Primo from what's defined as laptop PC, Android, or iPhone? And then I can combine the iPhone and the Android just to see, and this is exactly what we see, the uptick on the mobile, and I wouldn't say decrease on the laptop, but altogether percentage-wise decreases. All right, sorry about that. Go ahead.
Definitely, and later I'll share afterward those slides. But there is a testimony from, if I'm not mistaken, it's from Montana, where they're saying once they integrated Primo into their mobile app, they saw a huge increase on the number of the students that are actually, the patrons that are actually accessing Primo.
Yep, exactly.
So this is really about the history and the evolution. And then the reason I love and hate is because we have here the resource, the discovery for the students. And then the next phase is really having it on the native app. But here I want to emphasize that what you're going to see in the library mobile is not another layer for the discovery services. Okay, we're not talking about a client, a mobile client for the discovery. We're talking about a whole new way of communicating with the students. So this is something, this is why, this is the hate part, which is, it's not really about the discovery, it's not part of this evolution. It's really about the evolution of how to communicate with the students. So I promise that in a second I'm getting to the demo, but just to explain about really some thumb rules that are guiding us all along the way when we're developing the library mobile and our mobile application. I forgot to mention in the beginning, I said that it's built on top of Campus M. Just to say what Campus M. Campus M is actually an app for the university to integrate all the different systems for the university, for the students. The reason I'm mentioning it is because we're not, the fact that the library mobile is a new offering doesn't mean that we are new in this arena. We are selling those library mobiles, those, campus mobiles in the last 10 years. We have many customers. And here we just found a really critical functionality and what we believe is the strongest functionality to provide you in order to communicate and serve the students. What is guiding us? Every time that we're developing a new feature, new interface changing, we really want to verify that it's easy and fast. We want to verify that everything is very simple. If we're talking about library mobile implementation, we're not talking about months, we're talking in weeks. We're talking about minutes when you need to change something. We're talking about, of course, milliseconds for the students with their experience, but also about the simplicity. We want to verify that everything is very clear, it's very smooth for the student, they don't need to learn it. We don't have help sections on the mobile app because we believe everything is very intuitive and must be intuitive for the students. Our offering is actually for a library mobile application, meaning an app that is available on Google Play Store and on the Apple App Store. And at the same time, you're also getting a responsive web portal, meaning it can be accessed from the desktop. When I show you the app itself, you'll see that it is in your hands to decide how much you'd like those to be similar, or whether you want to have different services, different look and feel on the desktop and on the mobile. And now we're going to the exciting part, which is of course, the demo. And I'm saying in advance, I'm doing those demos on my personal device. So I'm always trying to remember to disable all the push notification, at least the one that may be embarrassing. But any case, if something is popping, excuse me. So what you see here beside my beautiful kids is really that we have, second from the bottom, the library mobile icon. It's a single app on the App Store, the Ex Libris Library Mobile. Once your patrons are going to download it, they will need to select which institution they are part of. Once they select their institution, from now on, the experience is going to be branded for your library, the same branding that your students are familiar with, your services, and you have full control of what to display here or not. What you see here now, as you can see, this is my mobile. I just want to emphasize again, what you see here is a template that we're offering as part of the implementation, but afterward you have the full control to have different logos, different tiles, different services. Everything can be different. Just to verify that we understand the terminology, I'll give you a short introduction to what each box here is. First, each box here, we're calling it tiles. I think it's obvious why we're calling it tiles. Tile can represent different things. It can represent a content page. A content page is just a static HTML, an information page that you want to share with the student. You can either import it from different CMS systems that you are using. You can create it from our great creative studio tool, which really in minutes, and I'll show you, you can create your own content. Or you can just link out to those content pages if you'd like. It can be what you see on the top. It's what we're calling the banner tile. Banner tile is kind of a carousel to expose different, to promote different events that you have, or we have a customer that is using it to promote new books that they have on the library. So those are the banner. Of course, each of those images can link to different services. And then we have what we're calling product integration. Product integration is integrations with different systems. For example, with Primo and Alma. When I'm saying Primo, it's not only the interface, of course. We're integrating, what you see here is what we're calling a live tile in the Primo tile. It says here Primo, but it's an integration, it's a live tile. The reason we're calling it live tile is because once the student opens the app, he doesn't need to perform any action. He already sees that he has fines, okay? Sorry, I needed to change my timing, but we'll manage with it. So you see already that I have 8 fines that I need to pay. I will, I promise. This information is being retrieved from the Alma APIs, okay? So we're calling the Alma APIs in order to show them critical information that we have here. Those are configurable. You can decide how many you want to show here, the pickup, the overdue, due, and we have some more configuration allowing you to decide how this live tile will look. Of course, you don't have to show all of them here. By the way, we're using the APIs, but we are not, it's not part of the APIs that are being counted from you. We have some connection with the Alma guys, so those APIs are not being counted in your limits. Now, I'll open, not this one, let's leave the Primo on the side. So this is a live tile. Again, understand the idea of calling APIs in order to surface important information already on the homepage for the students. And then we have things like the ID card. The ID card is a product integration that actually calls the different systems on your side. We're using either a RESTful API, or we can use the information from the IDP in order to present information. But as you understand, usually when we're talking about product integration, we will use APIs in order to retrieve the information and display it inside the library mobile in our interface. Now I'll go back for a second to the, let's just verify that I didn't forget anything about the different tiles. So we spoke about content pages. We spoke about link out, so you can have unlimited link outs. In the content page, you can just link out to different pages. By the way, you can also link out to different apps. So if there are any application that you are using that support URL scheme, you can launch it. So this can be the main gateway for the student for everything, for all the different services that you are having. We have the product integration and we have the lifetime. We also have product features, for example, the quick pause. We'll get to it afterwards. So let's go for a second. Ah, perfect. I'll decline frat. What we did in Primo, as I mentioned, usually with product integration, we are calling APIs. With Alma and Primo, what we did here, we actually decided that we don't want to use the API, because when we are calling API, we need to decide what are the most critical services to have on the phone. We want to have the full functionality of Primo. So we're having a single sign-on with Alma and Primo. And once I'm clicking on it, make it bigger. Once I'm clicking on it, actually what we did is we created a specific CSS, specific styling that is aligned with Campus M. For example, you can see those bottom button, the collection discovery, the newspaper. You can see that the top banner is also, it looks a bit different. I really, sorry, because my internet is really problematic today. But actually you can see that all the functionality is here. We open Primo with all the Alma functionality inside the library mobile. So you don't need to decide which functionality you want to display inside the library mobile. Everything that you configured on your side is going to be available here.
Wait, Miri, let me just clarify. Miri, can I just ask and clarify? So whatever they set up in their views within Alma, and I'm assuming they got a Primo V and they set up their views, you're all automatically making that appear properly on a mobile, as far as
exactly.
the size of the icons and all of that stuff?
Exactly. It's exactly the same view. It's exactly the same, sorry, configuration and data that they have, but we adjusted the look and feel in order to fit the mobile device, but not only the mobile device, because also in Primo V it is responsive, but also to fit the library mobile look and feel, okay? I think one of
So they don't have to worry
most
about,
important.
wait, they don't have to worry, the institution doesn't have to worry about setting it up so that it looks good in a mobile device. Okay,
No,
that's a nice feature.
it is. But actually, what I think is the nicest feature is the fact that it's a single sign-on. As I mentioned, all of us are using the mobile devices. I doubt that any of you is logging out from applications. I don't know if you have LinkedIn, Facebook, whatever, Twitter, whatever application you are using. When was the last time that you actually went and explicitly logged out from those apps? None of us is doing it. Similar with the library mobile, they logged in once and then they are logged in. But since we have the Alma ID stored on the device, it means that every time that they open the app, they are already logged in to Primo and Alma. If they want to request a book, they want to book an item, they can just do it. No need for additional login. Okay, this is of course another benefit than just using the responsive interface, for example, of Primo VE. And now I want to share with you another great benefit that I think we have with Alma. Yoel, you're going to
Right,
see
so
something.
Miri, excuse me, Miri, I'm sorry for these interruptions. So there's no timeout? If they stop using it and they go in next week, they're automatically logged in still?
This depends on their authentication method. As part of the implementation, we can set, of course, expiry. We're using, it's a token-based authentication. We are using expiry for the token. This is their decision, of course, what would be the length. And also, when the user will be prompted in order to log in again. But they will log in to the app. They are not going to be logged out from Primo and Alma, okay? So if they logged out from the app after, let's say, 60 days, if this is their expiry or whatever is set there, once they logged in again, they will be logged to Primo and Alma. Okay?
Yep, thanks.
Right, now, let's see how I'll do this. We'll try to do this here. We'll put this here. And okay, sorry, we'll start with this. So I think, and Yoel, you're probably familiar with this interface. Now I'm in Alma, and
Yeah, it looks a
I'm not
little
an
familiar.
Right, I thought so. If you have any question, I'm sure Yoel will be able to help. I'm not an expert with Alma, but what I want to show you here is one of the things that I think is going to be the most critical features in the library mobile. We saw before that when we asked students where they would like to be contacted, we saw that when we're talking about the library services, they want to use an app for it. with those information. So just showing the information in the app, this is great, but we believe that it's not enough. So what I want to show with you now, and I'll do it like this. Let's see if I'm doing, this is the Alma and this is the mirroring. And I'll close the app for a second. And now I'm going to, I know that this will be a problematic. Now I lost, no, okay. So now I'm going to the fulfillment and I'm going to the manage pattern. I'm going to select from Miri. This is me, I'm an undergraduate student. Well, I think it's time for a promotion for me. I want to be a PhD student now.
Okay,
and now
you got it.
What I want to do is I want to send an activity report, okay? When I send an activity report to Miri, what actually happened is that I'll do something. I got an email. You're going to see my amazing right now with all the different information. Let's see. I just got the following email right now. Okay, the boring activity letter. Okay, I'm going to close it and I will wait a few minutes. Okay, maybe a minute and two. But what I want to show you is actually that once we are sending an email, we know that the read rate of emails is not always the highest, but we know that the read rate for push notification is much higher. We're talking about really around 80%. I don't remember the exact number of read rate of push notification, which is much higher than when we're talking about emails. What you can do, and while I leave it open here if it won't log out, I will go and I'll go to the configuration, the Alma configuration, the general, and I'll show you that in the letters configuration, we have a functionality. Alma has a functionality that's allowing you to configure different fields for each email template that you want to send to the students. If we'll go to the borrow activity, for example, you'll see that we use here, sorry, I'll make it bigger. Even bigger. Okay. And look what I got here. I got the new message from Library Mobile, and so we'll get back to it in a second. I just got a push notification, new message from Library Mobile, patron circulation summary. So in addition to get the email, I also got push notification. And note that I wasn't on the app itself. The app, I closed it before. So even if the app is in the background, even if the app is shut down, I'm still going to get those push notifications with the information of the emails that are being sent to the students. So what I did here is actually in the template of the Alma letter, we, in the BCC, and now I can make it bigger, in the BCC field, I added a specific email that of course is whitelisted on our side, but it means that every time we're sending an email, we are also going to send a push notification to the students. So now back for a second. Was this clear? Yoel, you think it was clear here?
Let me see if I repeat it, and if I repeat it correctly, then it was clear. You're taking advantage of the existing functionality within Alma of sending emails to the patron. However, via the mobile app, not only will the user receive an email, he will also get a push notification. And we know that push notifications are read much more than emails.
Exactly.
Okay, so it was clear.
So this was really about how we integrate with the Primo and Alma. But as I mentioned before, this is not only about being the discovery on top, or being on top of Alma services. We want to verify that you have much more. So for Primo, we saw that it's a single sign-on to see the Primo. We have the APIs that are calling the Alma. We have the BCC alert, which actually means that if you are having an SMS system that you're paying a lot of money in order to send SMS, if you're going to verify a student or downloading the app, you can actually use the app in order to send those messages instead of using the SMS systems vendors. So this was for the Primo. Now I want to share with you another product integration, which is the events. We saw before the ID card. The events is an integration that, again, allows you to expose different events that you have in the library. You can either import a CSV file or use an RSS feed in order to import information about different events that you have. This is actually, now I can say, the old look and feel. We have an amazing and beautiful, you know what, I didn't mean to, but I will do it. We'll do it here. Show you actually how the new events is going to look like, and the reason I'm showing it is because it's coming next month. We are working on an agile methodology. We have a release every month. So next month, the new events product integration is going to be available, and you can see that it's much more visual than what I showed you a minute ago. And also you can get a teaser to the new user experience that we are working on the Library Mobile and Campus M to enhance, of course, the user experience. The nice thing here is actually that besides showing the events, and I'm sorry, those are the mock-ups, it's not really the our QA environment. I'm not that hard to do it, but what you can see here, the student can actually go to an event, they can register to an event, and after they register to an event, they can set also reminders and get push notification, reminding them about those events. The students that register to an event, actually you can use an API to import this information about who actually registered to an event. We can set later on, we plan to also allow setting roles. So we can do many things on those for those students that actually register to specific events.
That
so
sounds like
event integration.
like Facebook, Miri. When you register for an event, you get a message on the
Wait, we have
and you can also
other
see other people. You can also see other people have registered for an event near you.
Not yet. So this was the event product integration. I want to show you one page of what I mentioned before, the Creative Studio. Creative Studio, and I'll show you how it's look on the admin side. This is just an example of a page that we created in the Creative Studio, just a static content information that you have here. I'm saying static, but of course, you have here maps. You can see the maps. You can open the maps, but it is an HTML pages. And then you see the next due date is actually the Leganto. We also have an integration with Leganto. What we did with Leganto is similar to what we did with Primo VE and Alma, meaning we are using a single sign-on, but once I click on it, it's actually going to open the Leganto interface. Did I lost the connection? It's opened the Leganto interface inside Campus N with a single sign-on. Now I want to share with you, I'll stop presenting my mobile device and I'll feel, I guess, much better when I do it. No, you know what, I leave it for now. And we'll go for a second to the admin tool. And in the admin tool, I want to explain to you about an idea and about one of the, wait, where am I? Why isn't it? Ah, perfect. I want to show you something which is a critical feature, but it's more than a feature in Campus M. And while I'm showing it, you'll see some other cool stuff. So this is our admin console for the admin, of course. We're calling it the App Manager. Inside the App Manager, you have different things that you can control. The App Builder that you'll see in a second, probably one of the most used feature here. We have the app setting, which I won't go into it because this is, I can say, probably the more boring part. It's about configuration, configuring endpoints, and those things. We have the analytics, like any product in Exlibris, we have OAS analytic, Oracle Analytics Services. We'll go for it. We'll go into it in a second. Ignore the AK. We have the notification center. I showed you before the option to send push notification by sending using the BCC template inside Alma. But actually, we have 3 ways to send push notification. The BCC, we have API that you can use in order to trigger push notification. And we have the notification center where you can send either an individual notification or a group notification. You can set specific groups. It can be roles, it can be groups that you defined in advance. and you can send push notification to those. You can schedule notification and you can set their expiry. Once you send a notification, you can also see how many actually read it, and you can resend either to those that read it. Maybe you want to change something to all the ones that read it. Now take the message and send it again with something different, or send it again to everyone that didn't read it, just as a reminder. So this is our notification center. So those are the 3 ways to send push notifications. We'll leave some here. We have the Creative Studio. I'll just show you. This is the place where you can go and create the content pages. For example, I can go and I create a new page, for example, under the Contact Us tile. I can either start from scratch using a blank page. I can use one of the existing templates that we have here, but also you can create your own institutional templates, and then you can have specific people in your staff that has access only to the institutional template, and they can change the order. This is, of course, to allow you to maintain the consistency and the look and feel that you want, and not to allow everyone to do whatever they want, because it's a very flexible tool. I'll go, for example, I'll take this one. We'll test this template, demo test, create. And now you can see the Creative Studio tool. We have here different components. For example, I can go and I can add another image. I can add a video. If I'm adding here a video, I can decide, I'll go to the setting, whether I want to use YouTube, Vine, whatever I want. If it's a YouTube, I just need to put the video ID here, and it's there to go. We have other template, other things you can, let's insert here, sorry for the, let's insert map, and I'll tell you that I live in Ramat Bechel, and we'll zoom in. And you can see that I live just next to the archaeological garden. And once I'm
That's
going to
beautiful,
save it,
Mary. That's really nice. Really nice.
Once I'm going to save it and publish, this information is going to be available for the student. So this is how easy it is to create. Of course, if you have some more advanced user that wants to do other things that are not part of those templates, you also have an access to the HTML editor. You can just go here, you can add your CSS. We have some extreme customers that are also using JavaScript to create crazy things with the Creative Studio, but also you can import different pages. Okay, so you can just put a URL and we'll import the page. What is the benefit of importing a page? Of course, there is pros and cons. If you have a place that you're another site that you want to link out, you can link out to those pages, and it's always going to be maintained in the same way. If you're changing anything in this site, the student will see the same. When we're importing a page, it means that it's not going to be updated. So it's for pages that are less, I would say, you're changing less frequently. But on the other hand, it means that it's going to be cached on the device. So all the Creative Studio, once a student, the first time he's logging in, we're caching those on his device, meaning he can access those also when they're offline, if they're now on the tram, on the tube, wherever they are, they can access those content pages. So this was the Creative Studio. Now we'll go back here. Just to explain, I said many times product integration. This is the product integration. You can see how we configure those. For example, if we want to add a Primo VE and Alma integration, what you need to do is just enable it, set the base URL, view ID, authorization token, which is a token that you just need to verify that they are similar. And actually, this is it. Once you save, you'll have it. Then we added additional configuration that everything has a default. You have control on the look and feel, of course, on all the labels, the text, what you want to display, whether you want to hide some of the information that we're having. This is how we manage and how we integrate with the system. As I mentioned in the beginning, we want it to be simple, easy, quick. We want it to be powerful, but very easy to use. And the last thing that I want to show you here is really the quick polls. Not the last thing, because then we'll get to the app builder. Those are the quick polls. Quick polls, as you can see, I have here a tile that is called quick polls. I don't have anything here. Quick poll is a way to integrate, to communicate with the student and get information, quick information from the student. You can add a quick poll, add questions to the student very easily. When, let's do it, sorry. Are you happy with our library services? Very simple question. We can decide that it's an anonymized one. So if you want to use something for voting, for example, you can use this tool for voting. But in this case, let's leave it open. And you can decide the type of the response, whether it's a multiple choice with a single selection, multiple selection, or a free text response. Now I created a single choice. The first answer is yes, very happy, okay? And now I'm going to add another question, another answer, sorry, and it will be actually not really. What I'm going to do now, you see that I can add a role based on this answer. When I add this role based on this answer, I can decide what role to add. And you see that I have here a role that I created just before that is called dissatisfied user. Once I'm adding it, it means that a student that will answer actually not really, we are going to add a role to this patron. And what are we doing with roles? You'll see in a second. So we added this. Now we're going to see whether we want to send push notification. I'm not going to change the default here. We can change the response text. So once I answer, let's say no, or yes, we can have a customer response like, I'm sorry that this is your experience. You can link to different services. You can have different answer. The distribution, we're going to send it to all the Exlibris Library mobile users, of course, our institution. We're not going to have it as a reoccur poll. The date, we are going to do it for today. Let's do it from 8. Probably I won't get the push notification because it's afterward, but never mind, till tomorrow. So this is the date of the polls, of this poll. Now I'm going to save it. Okay. And now I want to show you, before we're going to see actually the quick poll, I want to show you something else. No, you know what? Let's try to do it in this direction. As I mentioned, you're also going to have the portal. You can see that I have the look and feel, and it's a bit different. We can control what we want to show you or not, but in my case, I decided to have it similar. Now, I logged in, and probably I didn't set the right time. I'm sorry. Let's see if I can edit it or not. It will be, then I'll understand if I did it right. I did it right. Weird. Okay, something happened which is not the best, which I didn't got the badge, but you'll excuse me. Let's see the mobile app for a second. Okay, I'll share it with you here. It will be nicer. Okay, so you remember my kids. We'll go back to the library mobile. And now when I'll go back to the quick polls, I'll give it to load. You see that now I have one quick poll to answer. I'm going to answer this quick poll to see what open quick polls I have. And someone is asking me if I'm happy with the library services. Now, excuse me for saying that not really, but just for the sake of the demo, I'm going to say that actually I'm not really happy. And I clicked on it, and then I got respond. As I mentioned before, we can customize those response based on the answer. Now I'm going to put the app in the background, open it again. Sorry, I open it again and see what just happened. We have two new tiles, two by mistake. We have two new tiles that weren't there before, okay? We are here for you. We can add different services. We can show different tiles to those that answer a specific question. Now, how did I do this? Let's go here. In the app manager, I promise that I'll show you also the app builder. We have this amazing tool, the app builder. The app builder is the place for you to manage the services and the look and feel of the app itself. As I mentioned, all of those, what I have is just a template. If you want to go and change an icon, you don't want to have this image, you can go and you can change it. You can upload any image that you would like. You can change the site. Maybe we want the news to be a 2-on-2 tile, okay? 2-by-2 tile, sorry. Now, if I save and publish it, next time that the student will launch the app, he will see those changes. We can add a new tile. Let's add a new tile. We'll add a basic tile, which will be library mobile demo, okay? And I think that I saved here, create. And now we can create an action URL. And I forgot that I wanted to, let's give it a second. We'll just take this URL. Okay, we set this URL. I can decide whether I want it to open an external or internal page. Let's change the background color and make something that will be very easy to see on the tile. We'll say, show me the text. No, it will show. Okay. Now I'm going to save and publish. And as I mentioned, the next time that the student will log in, and same experience will be on the app itself, we have this new tile. I didn't present the name of it, sorry. And this is link out to the page that I just configured. This is how easy it is to create a tile.
So Miri, it looks like the administrator here really doesn't need any programming or technical expertise.
Nothing. No code at all. No code. And as you saw, even for the Creative Studio, we have tools that to allow you to verify that it just drag and drop in order to build it. Now you'll excuse me, and I'm to delete this beautiful tile. We'll delete it. We'll put those back to 1-on-1, and we'll save it again. Now, what I want to show you here is what I did with the quick poll. So you can see that we have here roles. I configured 3 different roles here. Default, everyone has a beta role. The beta tester role is for you to test. So you can decide some of the admin people, some of the staff in your institution, that they will have the beta tester role, meaning that they will see tiles that students still, the patrons can't see. This is a great way for you to test new services, new tiles, anything that you would like using the beta tester.
It almost sounds like a sandbox version.
But it's not
play
sandbox
around.
because no, it's the same app, but you can see both the default and the beta tester. So you'll use the same app, okay? It's the same app, but you see that others won't see. And what I did with the polls, for example, you can see that if I go to the dissatisfied user role, loading.
Wait, this is the user who answered actually not really?
This is the role that I gave, the one that says not really. Yes, but let's see, why is it just page? Okay, so you see when I'm on the dissatisfied user, and this is, by the way, why we saw 2, because by mistake I added 2 tiles. This is the only role that we have. But since all the students have defaults, so once a student answered and we added the dissatisfied user, he saw all the different default tiles in addition to the dissatisfied user tiles. Okay. Last thing that I'll show you is really the usage itself, the analytics tool that we have here. The main thing that we want to show you is really what the patrons, the students are actually using, and what maybe needs promotion on the time. Oh, I forgot to show you something important. So in the analytics, you can see the different usage of the different services. You can see how many click on the quick polls, the ID card, the useful links, all of those. Of course, here the numbers are not very exciting because these are a demo environment. We can see what devices they are using. Okay, whether they're using, here is the actual devices, but you can also see the platforms, whether it's iOS, Android, or web or desktop. You can see the user that registered, the different pages that they access. So you have wealth of information in the analytics tool. One thing that I forgot to share with you is You saw the roles. The roles is a way really to personalize the experience per answers of the student. You can also use API in order to add roles. So maybe you have other system. We have, for example, a customer that is using our app, not specifically for the library, but they're using the app, and they actually integrate it with attendance system. So when students are not attending the university, they're adding a role to those students in order to show them critical information for those that are unattended students and maybe students at risk, so you can actually perform more personalized action. But we have another layer of personalization, which is for the student itself. The student can arrange the look and feel. So you saw the admin side, that the student can decide first that you don't want to see twice that we are here. We don't want to see this yellow ugly one. And actually Primo and Alma is the most critical service for me, so I want it to be the top one. So we want to verify that they feel that this is their own app, they have control of it, because we understand that this is critical. So this was actually the demo. I'll leave some time if we have questions. In the same time, I'll explain really about this offering. As I mentioned, it's a new offering for all the Exlibris customers to have, in addition to the library mobile. We have many customers that are using the app for the full institution. We have already 15 institutions that are using the app for mobile. Some are implementation. We have 6 live customers that are using the mobile app for the library. And I'm always happy to answer questions. If not in this forum, feel free to email me and I provide any information. Yoel, any questions?
Yes. At the very beginning, you said something about defining the terminology between Library Mobile and Campus M. Could you elaborate a little more on that?
Sure. So Campus M, as I mentioned, Library Mobile is built on top of the platform of Campus M. So it's the same infrastructure, the same database, the same compliances. Everything is on the same platform of Campus M. Campus M is an app which is for the institution, for the whole university. So the difference is actually first that in Campus M, it's a dedicated app on the App Store. So it's not the Exlibris Library Mobile app and then the students select their institution. It's a branded icon, a branded app on the App Store itself. So the student will search for the institution name and not for Exlibris Library Mobile. The second change is that there are just some services. There are product integrations that are not part of the library offering. For example, integration with student information system, with LMSs, with learning management systems, timetable. Those are not available in the offering of the library. And also, the library mobile offering is for a single profile, meaning you get your all the students will download the app, then they will authenticate again against a single authentication system, and they will use it. With Campus M, we can have different profiles. So we can have guest profiles, we can have different authentication, staff, students, a bit more flexibility
Okay,
there.
that's clear. Thank you. Okay, I didn't see Sarah, Thomas, anyone else have a question you want to send in? I don't see any here. If you have anything, you can send it in on the chat. I don't see anything in the Q&A and I don't see anything in the chat. So thank you very much, Miri. And those who attended will be posting the recording soon. Have a nice day.
Thank you. Bye-bye.